pitch.
Ooh, it just said live.
Yay! Today it worked. Hallelujah. I know, right? Whee!
Let's see if it stays that way. I'm watching that little yellow box.
I know. We've got several things to watch, and I'm watching the live stream, and I'm wondering how can it possibly not be solid? There's nobody else in the house, and the only thing that's open on my computer is this. So I hope it continues to work perfectly. And we have Dawn back this week. Hello, Dawn. And we have Erica. And Erica, how are you?
Good.
Yeah?
Good. It took me a second, but yeah, pretty good. I have a few things to report. Not a ton, but some.
Go for it.
Okay, well, I know everyone who's been listening consistently is dying to know how did the Foose ball table turn out. That I asked you guys for tips on how that was going to be. Well, the bride and groom loved it. The guests loved it. Even some of like the caterer and stuff asked me, "Oh, do you do this for all your customers?" I'm like, "No, not customers. We're just friends of the bride and groom." But you hold it so that hopefully it can focus on that. So you can see the one team is the bride and groom, and the other team is Marvel Comics villains. And the brides all have the tool for the veil. I was supposed to do bow ties for the grooms, but I forgot. So, but it was a riot. It was a total riot. As was Andrew's first stint as wedding officiant, looking like Moses there with his super long beard. So he gave them the option of, if they wanted, he would gladly shave off the beard in time for the wedding if they were afraid he was going to make the wedding pictures look goofy. But they liked it. They told him to keep it. So much to our kids' chagrin, they keep saying they're going to shave him in his sleep. But
how long has he been growing it now?
2 years.
Wow.
2 years.
That's
and change. But he's pretty much ready to just go back to his usual goatee because it's pretty long. It's about 10 inches long for those who couldn't see the pictures. And it's mostly white with some charcoal gray in it. And it does make him look considerably older than he looks without it. And it was a very fun reception. They had one of those basketball games where the two baskets and you could score points against each other throwing basketball. They had a 500-piece puzzle on a table. They had a photo booth that would take 4 pictures. As I'm holding this up, it's the size of a photo Christmas card with, I'm not quite sure what that fancy location thing is at the bottom, but then your 4 pictures would be printed above, and it was sort of a fisheye lens thing. You had to get in close, and it warped the background. And then at the bottom, it says, 2016 Sing and Fun's Big Fat Wedding. So it's the other little souvenir. So that was the non-yarny crafting. And the big news is the knitting mojo came back.
Yay!
Knitting again. Some weird little swatches. See, I'm not one of those people who can just figure out a shawl by math. I have to play every time. I have to reinvent the wheel. Every time. Plus, I got to see if, what's what. Obviously, that's not the real thing. That's just scratch paper. Random yarn I had sitting around. This is a glimpse of what is coming. It's a half-circle pie shawl.
That's pretty.
All open work lace in shades of green. And the yarn is this one, I believe, is the yarn that I over-dyed. I had some yarn by a dyer who's no longer operating. Was Lulu's Yarns, and it was a sock yarn of hers that I liked in the skein, and when it knit up, I thought it looked horrible. It probably would have looked good in socks, but I wasn't using it for socks. So I over-dyed it. So instead of being white and blue and green, it's different shades of green. I over-dyed it with green, and it looks like jewels and just so intense and bright. And now I love it. So
what's it going to be now?
It's a shawl. It's a half-circle pie shawl.
Oh, that's the one that you're using for the half circle.
Right. So what I'm actually going to do is that gray one, I'm going to rip that out, and this is the rough draft, and then I'll redo it, the final draft, in the light gray with the dark charcoal blips. So I think that will be that will show the open work much better, and it's garter based, so no wrong side and right side.
That's always nice.
Yeah, because I get bugged. I gave a friend a shawl for her 50th birthday, and no matter how many times I tell her, every time she wears it backwards with the wrong side showing. But this way, there's none of that.
That's funny.
So that's pretty. Oh, and I guess my camera isn't in the right place for you to be able to see, but I am wearing a shawl, which is made from 3 skeins of a special limited edition color of Mallory Odose, which is muted, like springy green and blue and almost gray and yellow. Just large crescent curved triangle with mostly stockinette with some garter sections in it. So that's about it on this end. It's been busy with those things.
Yeah, it's been a weird week, but it hasn't been a bad one. Dawn, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Well, so I wasn't here last week because my kid had a thing that required me to go talk to people, and so the weekend before that, 2 weekends ago, I took a bus full of 15-year-old soccer players to Indiana.
On purpose?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How far a drive is that?
It's like between 9 and 11 hours.
Yeah, that's a significant chunk of time.
On the way down, we stopped in Rockford, Illinois, overnight, but we drove the whole way back in one shot.
Holy cow.
It was really long.
Were you driving a van, or were you guys on a bus?
No, we chartered a bus, which was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I have to say, actually, all the girls got along super well, and it was kind of this kumbaya, we all love each other kind of thing. It was nice. That was really nice. But I got a lot of knitting done.
By the way, Tara is impressed that you made it back alive.
I did. I was a little twitchy. I tend toward the introvert side of things, and there was not a lot of alone time at all. So by the time we got back, I was like, no one needs to talk to me for like 24 hours.
Did you have to share rooms with any of the kids, or were you?
No. So the coach had a room, and then the 2 team managers had a room, and the girls were 4 to a room. And they had a room captain for each room, and they did great. So they were super responsible. It was really nice. Yeah. But I got a lot of knitting time done, and
yay for knitting time.
What I did was work on the circular, that I was putting the edging on right.
Oh, yay.
I thought, oh, no problem. I brought like 3 projects because I was like, oh, I'll get that edging done. And there are a gajillion and 1 stitches on this pie shawl.
How many inches around did you actually make it in
Lord.
22 hours?
Okay, well, I had about, I think I had about, I don't know, that much done when I started, and now I have about that much left to go.
Wow.
But here's the big thing, is I ran out of yarn.
I knew you were going to say that. Oh,
I thought I had way more than enough, because there's a ball of Spud and Chloe fine sock yarn, right? So one would assume that however many yards this is, it doesn't even say. How does it not? It does say. 248 yards you would think is enough to put, right, an edging on a shawl. No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had to go search out another ball of Spud and Chloe fine when I got home, and it took me every yarn store in the Twin Cities until I could find no one is carrying this anymore here.
What?
Wow.
But Spud and Chloe's awesome.
I know, but nobody has it right now. And I found one ball of the right color, one hank of the right color at a yarn shop up in White Bear Lake, Minnesota. So I did a hour round trip to go get my hank of yarn.
I don't blame you. Did you check
And
on
thank
Mallory
goodness.
to see if
I
somebody had
did.
the stash?
I did, and everybody was really far away.
Nah.
But thank goodness it doesn't appear that the dye lot really matters, because it matches perfectly. So now I'm cruising on it again, but I still have, oh my gosh, I probably still have a couple hundred stitches left.
Wow.
I know.
Any idea how many yards short you were? Do you think?
It'll probably end up to be about half a hank, I would assume.
Wow. So another 100 and something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
Wow.
On the plus side, this might actually get done. Which will be nice. Yeah. So that's what I've been actively working on.
I love that you brought that up because I think, especially when you're first starting out with knitting, there's a real disconnect between how small or how large something is and how long it's actually going to take.
Right.
And to see someone like you who's a really fabulous knitter and fast at it, and then see how long. I mean, that was 2 hours on the best that you had. And
yeah, I mean, and granted, there was some time when I just had to stare off into space, but yeah, but that was a lot of knitting time, and it is a lot of stitches to bind off with this edging. So. But we're getting there. The other thing I remembered to find was the magic plastic bead. We'll put it right in the middle of my front. This is the bead that I used for dizzing off of my drum carder, which, since I went down to get the bead out of the container, is a Deb's Delicate Deluxe by Pat Green.
Ooh.
Anybody wants to know?
Just looks like a pony bead.
It is. Well, it's it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of spaceship shaped. I don't know if you can tell that.
That would be much easier to hold on to while you're trying to diz.
Yeah, because with dizzing off the drum, so if the drum is here, you just kind of hold it and pull through, and the pulling actually spun the drum. Right. So, yeah.
What did you do as you were pulling it off, and so so if you pull off a foot at a time, as you're doing that, where do you just let it go onto the pull it off onto the ground and then go back and wind it after that, or what did you
think
do?
I was winding it around my hand. I think what I was doing. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
very
but
cool.
So yeah, it's just a plastic kids bead from a big bucket of plastic kids beads.
That's so cool.
So
we should have you show us one of these times how to do it, because I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around that.
There's some good videos on it, but I can try and set up the drum carder and card something onto it.
Maybe when the weather's better and the sun brighter and we're not getting. I don't know. Are you getting hammered with rain? We're getting rained on today.
We had a lot of rain last week. This week is a little better.
Yeah.
So.
What's happening in California weather-wise, Erica? You guys have something weird about to hit you.
We've got rain coming in a couple of days. I think Friday and Saturday we're supposed to have rain. We were supposed to have, what was it, the beginning of last week, we were supposed to have thunderstorms one day. And I felt so gypped. All we got was a little bit of rain. We didn't get any thunder or storming or anything. So, I mean, we've definitely had some rain this year, but the drought is not over. They're telling everybody, don't get too excited all at once. It's, still be careful because the drought, one year of decent rain does not make up for several years of not enough rain.
I can't honestly remember. I mean, wow, how many years did I? Okay, I lived in California for 24 years total. I don't actually remember there not being a drought. And maybe that's
probably just the timing on what years you lived here.
Or it was that I was in Southern California, and Southern California is always in a drought because Los Angeles...
Yes, they steal our water.
Yes, and Los Angeles is naturally a desert, and the fact that it is irrigated pisses me off.
Yeah.
And then they just pay extra. They just pay extra so that they can keep watering their grass.
And now they're talking about stealing water from my lake.
What?
Let me tell you, you want to get the Midwesterners riled up, you start talking about taking water out of Lake Superior and Lake Michigan, shipping it to the desert. Leave my lake alone. There's some mojo in that lake that will follow you if you screw with it, I guarantee.
Bad juju comes with the water. Oh, man.
But, yeah, that's right. I know we're spoiled here with all of our lakes and rivers, but they're supposed to be here.
Well, they are, and honestly, I think Southern California, as a fifth-generation Southern Californian, is spoiled in thinking that they can somehow change the landscape on a grand scale. No, that just isn't going to work very well. And
we can't terraform yet.
Aaron keeps saying, what we really need to do is we need to go to Mars, and then what we terraform it. And he's doing a research paper now on. They had to argue that some invention or intervention is the most important thing. It's a really interesting writing project because it's very crafty oriented in its own way. It's something that's been invented in the last 50 years. That is the most important thing to have happened. And so he's arguing something about the space program, and he's found out all sorts of cool stuff.
There was actually, I can't remember what it was. It was something I heard on NPR, and now I can't remember what program it was. But it was somebody talking about exactly that. What in the modern era has actually had the most lasting impact on culture, whatever.
And they said the space program?
No, there was nothing of that scope. That was, it was things like
antibiotics,
sanitation, and antibiotics, and preserving food, and really basic stuff that they were like, you wouldn't think about. Air conditioning. Yeah. Literally changed the way people lived. And changed the demographics in the country. Totally and completely shifted the demographics in the country, air conditioning.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Soap. Washing hands, before and after working in cadavers and things like that.
I told you my cadaver class story, didn't I? It's not mine.
No, I had a cadaver class.
I was wondering if you did. Okay, so when I got trained to be a massage therapist, if I had done deep tissue, I would have had to do a cadaver class. And so we had one day with deep tissue instruction, and our deep tissue teacher, who was built, like an Easterman swimmer, she was just, if she was going to do deep tissue on you, you were going to snap. She was so good. And she took a cadaver class, and she wanted to figure out like muscular insertion points. You can see where the muscle goes into the bone, and it doesn't look, when you've taken a body apart, it doesn't look like it's all that secure. So she had somebody distract the professor, and she climbed up on the table with her cadaver, and she took a hold of its quad and braced her foot on its hip and leaned back and tried to pull it out. It didn't come out.
Not like that, it won't. Not like
No.
that, it won't.
But
You need
it's
a
but
little
it's a
more
great
pull.
it's a great visual to, if you ever feel like, oh, muscles, no, they're going to tear not at the insertion point. They're going to tear somewhere else.
Tendons are stronger than the actual muscle itself.
Yes.
But no, cadaver class is an experience. It is definitely a primal experience you will never forget.
Oh my gosh.
Dead bodies are like that.
Yeah.
There is something.
Did they have you put the vapor rub just under your nose to cover up the smell? Like they do in TV, and when people go in for autopsies, they like, here, put this on,
These are cadavers that are used in, they're preserved already. So these aren't
There's
decomposed.
no icky.
They're not, well, no, there's a
There's no
definite
icky.
smell. There's definitely a lot of smells. But it's not a rotting, decomposed smell. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do they use formaldehyde? What do they use?
At the time I took it, yes, I think they were. I don't know, but they were preserved, and the arteries were injected with red, and the veins were injected with blue plastic, so you could even identify them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Our anatomy class in high school, we saw a lot of stuff that nowadays I look back on and think, oh my God, that teacher would have gotten fired if he was teaching now. Because we watched open heart surgery, we watched cadaver classes, we had to learn all the muscles and all the bones and everything. And to do the muscle test, he put the most buff guy in the class on a table in a pair of swim trunks. And he had a stick, and he said, number 1, number 2, number 3, and he was 400 years old. He'd been teaching it forever. He knew exactly what he was doing. And you can't cheat on something like that. You just have to know
Right.
because you don't know what's coming. And it was just listing the entire class period. And then he did it also with the skeleton, same thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of muscles.
A lot of muscles. And he didn't even sectionalize it. It wasn't like, okay, we're going to do the back this week. Oh, no. If you're going to know your muscles, you just have to know your muscles.
Yeah, just know all of them. That's no problem.
Easy.
That's no problem.
Easy.
Yeah.
So what other knittiness do you have, or crochetiness do you have?
I
Library goodness.
I do have some crochetiness. Hang on. And again, I could have opened the bag. So instead, you get to hear the nice rustling of the plastic. This is more stuff from digging out, when I said I cleaned out the stash.
Right.
This is more stuff from cleaning out the stash.
I'm so glad we've given you an opportunity to do this.
Holy...
What happened?
Did your dog eat it?
No, it's the yarn. Oh my God.
So, for those who can't see, she found a skein of the yarn that she had searched high and low for that she mentioned a few minutes ago.
I wasn't stupid.
And drove all over the place to find. She just found a skein of it.
So you didn't purchase incorrectly in the first place.
I did not. I was smarter than I look.
That's
so much
hilarious.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's awesome. And you did it on the air.
Great big face palm.
Oh.
Now I have an extra hank of Spud Cloe Fine number 7803. Do something with. Oh, it's a good thing it's merino silk because it'll be nice to figure out what to do with it.
That's right.
Seriously. Stupid. Actually, maybe I can use it on what's in here. This is what I was going to show you. This looks like entrelac, right?
It does.
And it's entrelac, but it's Tunisian crochet entrelac.
Ah.
Can you see? Can you tell up close?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
awesome.
it's mini mochi. So it's a long color repeat.
Super soft.
Super soft. And I thought, it pills so badly, but I thought the structure of the Tunisian crochet would maybe kind of help hold it together a little bit more than just regular. So this is actually Tunisian crochet, what they call Tunisian crochet knit stitch, because see, it looks like little knit stitches.
It sure does.
And for those playing along at home, what colors do you have in that lovely creation?
It's autumn colors again. So it's greens and golds and russets, all together in, like I said, a mini mochi. Of course, I might have had that other yarn in there, but I don't appear to have the mini mochi tag, so I can't tell you what colorway it is.
So with that, when you have those kinds of color changes, because it looks like each square or each block is a different color,
right?
Was that the yarn changing color, or was that you picking up a different skein?
Nope, it's the yarn changing color, because how, interlock is like modular, right? Mm-hmm. So it started, where's the middle? Where is the middle? Okay, right here. With this purpley block is the first block. And so then the second row is these two blocks, the two red ones. And then the third brings in, so the long color repeats each round. So I went from 1 to these 4. I basically built on extra squares on each row. So the long color repeats.
John, can you hold it still? Can you hold it still? People are having a hard time seeing because you're moving it. Can you hold it still in front of the camera?
It's taking, I think it's because the streaming is taking a while.
There we go.
That's fabulous.
Now it's focusing.
Yep.
I don't know if people can see. That's good.
So it's just because of how it's constructed. So the squares are it's because it's how it's constructed. So this square goes this way.
Right.
And then this one built off this edge, and this one built off this edge. So the ones that look the same are part of the same long repeat. And it's just because it's such a long repeat that those rows look and the squares look individual. So yeah, it's just, I think there's it's 2 balls of it. So there's 4 ends in the whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah. But I need to put an edging on it because like knit stitch, it rolls naturally. Like that.
Yep.
So I need to edge it. Maybe I'll edge it. Maybe I'll edge it with this. Spud and Chloe.
Inspiration.
Woo.
That's
Maybe
so
we'll
cool.
do that. But yeah, so that's the only thing that I just have to put an edging on this and weave in the end.
Did you make the pattern up yourself? I mean, not make the pattern up yourself, but
Tunisian crochet entrelac is a thing that's out there.
That's what I
but I didn't follow I was like, oh, I want it to be shallower and wider and not so triangular. So I just figured out basically like when you work one way, you have to work an extra long chain and then work back across it. Just because of how Tunisian crochet works, you pick up live stitches and then you work them off, and you pick up live stitches and you work them off. So I needed something to work off of when I went the one direction. So yeah, I made it up. And maybe if I can get that edging done, then I can get this edging done, and then I'll have 2 finished things. Woo! Woo! And I'm trying to see what else was in here. There's some sample spinning of something. Ooh, now my phone's gonna ring. That's fun.
Pretty.
And I actually think I know what this is. Remember that Shetland? Shoot, it was a Shetland what mix? That fleece that I showed you. It is a Shetland. The one that was really long that I think I need the combs for, and now I can't remember.
Was that the entire fleece that you bought?
Shetland fin mix. Yes. This is sample spinning of that stuff.
That's cool.
This is what this is. And this was, I think, just spinning from the locks.
Wow.
Yeah. And I want to do something else with it. It's really springy though. Ooh.
Yeah.
Um,
Isn't fun in general a springy?
Yeah, and it's insanely fine, the stuff. And I don't know if the sheen is coming across very well. It is a very shiny, it almost looks like it has silk in it. It doesn't look like it's coming across on the camera.
No, the sheen isn't.
Because it is,
just looks gray.
It is shiny. So what else is in here? There's a mystery bag. What is it? Oh, it's a hat project.
Oh.
It's not knitting. It's sewing.
Ah.
Cool.
Did I tell you that there's a local person in town who worked with Alabama Channon? She won a competition and got to go down and study with them. I took a class with her, and this is from one of the projects I bought from her. So it's Alabama Channon style hand sewing. So this is a panel for a hat. A wedge.
So
for a hat.
it's like a curved triangle
Right.
with two sides curved with the reverse applique.
Yep.
And beautiful
and it's just,
red color.
Reddish. It's knit it's just cotton knit fabric.
Wow.
That's
gorgeous. I have all the little pieces. After we edge those two things, then we can see if we can stitch the hat together, because it looks like all I have to do is stitch the panels together, actually. Awesome. That's probably why I stopped, because the fun part was done.
Yeah.
The reverse applique. And now the, boring old stitch the pieces together part is here.
Yep.
And then there's a tag. Let's see, this is from a fleece. This was apparently, at one point in time, since it's not in here, I must have spun it, owned 8 ounces of combed cornrow top from Riverwinds Farms in Wisconsin.
Ooh, I like cornrow.
Because there's the tag. And the cornrow's not in the bag anymore. So that got made into something.
I like the cornrow.
Yeah. So that was fun. And then the other project I unearthed. And this is only part of it. This is such a small part of the stuff I unearthed, it's not even crazy.
Oh, good.
This is hand spun Miss Babs. It's orange.
That is beautiful.
So Miss Babs I spindle spun in orange, and I'm knitting it into a jeweled cowl. And this is an actual somebody else's pattern called the jeweled cowl.
Is that a 2-ply or a 3-ply?
2-ply. It's a 2-ply. Yep.
Wow.
So it just has this beaded panel in it, and then the rest of it is just stuck in it.
Wow.
But I think it shows off the hand spun pretty well.
Yeah.
And the beading is fun. It's super slow because you're putting the beads on with a tiny crochet hook,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you gotta get to the stitch and load the bead, and then yeah. But
I like doing it that way, though. You don't destroy the yarn.
Yeah, and it sits different.
Yep.
In the knitting too, but I needed a break. I remember why I put it away, because I was like, this beading is making me mental. I can't do this anymore. So maybe I am more patient now.
I would also drop all the beads.
Just finish it without the bead. Oh, all over the floor, you mean?
Yes. My beads would absolutely wind up all over the floor.
Well, but I'll show you. This is how. Wait. This was, I think, candy came in here. Yes, apparently Lint truffles came in here. I have this little metal box.
Yeah.
Fun little containers.
And the beads are in here. Ooh, let's see if I can show you without spilling them all over the computer. See?
Wow.
And there's enough space in there, because it's probably about a 3-inch by 3-inch little box. There's enough space in there that I can scoop them up with the tiny metal crochet hook and
Right.
not have to take them out.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
I've done a couple of beaded things, and I say there are several times in my week in general where my life will become an I Love Lucy sketch,
Yeah.
and that beaded work was one of them. I've also had things like that happen with plumbing. Plumbing has become an I Love Lucy sketch. Yeah, there have been several good ones.
Nice.
Plumbing was the most. So, yeah, I'm not going to bead anytime soon with my track record.
That's funny.
Funny.
So yeah, those are. I just grabbed a couple of those bags because I was like, ooh, let's see what's in here. I'm glad I did. I actually wish I had done that last week because I would have saved myself a lot of driving around.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Oh well.
But
no. You know, it should work. Don't you think? Color-wise, it should work to edge this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
definitely.
Yeah, the entrelac thing. So maybe it was meant to be.
There you go.
Of course, I probably
like
won't.
it.
I probably won't have enough, and then I'll need another one.
Well, if your other
Don't
one's only
even say that. Don't even say that.
you said the other one's only going to take half a hank to finish, so
That's true. This is true. So we'll see.
I love it.
Seriously.
That's awesome.
Oh, someday my grain will grow back.
I don't think they do. I really don't think they do. But Heather, Robin says she's right there with you. She tried to fix a toilet that wasn't flushing right and ended up with a cracked tank.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's no going back from that one.
Nope. Nope. That just stinks.
Yep.
Yeah. That.
Literally.
Literally.
Sorry, I'm 12.
That's okay. We understand.
I remembered one thing that I forgot earlier. Remember, I don't know if you remember that brown raglan sweater that I was supposed to finish during Finishuary? That, you know, I had those grandiose plans of everything I was going to finish.
Yep.
There it is.
Oop, wait.
Lovely, giant yarn cake. I frogged it because the shaping was just, it bugged me. It was never going to not bug me. So I bit the bullet and frogged it, even though all that was left was the sleeves. So perhaps I'll try again. But that's my learning of don't try to make a sweater from scratch when you're in a situation where you can't try it on. I knit most of that in the car on that long trip to Boulder City, Nevada back in January. So next time I'll knit something I don't have to try on.
Yeah. Or at least socks that when you do try them on, you can do it in the car.
Yeah.
Right.
Easy.
Yes, I was with family, so yes, I could have tried on socks in the car.
That stinks. But it's pretty yarn.
Yeah, Cascade 20. Gotta love it.
That's
Oh dear, Barbara tried to clear a bathroom sink that was a little slow and ended up with over $2,000 in plumbing costs, new pipes in the walls and everything.
wow.
And the sink was just a little bit slow. Oh boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah, we were doing other stuff in our bathroom and had to temporarily remove the toilet and then put it back in, and the toilet broke, and so we had to go buy a new toilet. So, this.
Yuck. Moving toilets is the worst job ever.
Yeah, I wasn't here. Luckily,
Ever.
they sent me and the girls away, and my husband and a friend did the work while we were gone, and that was the way to do it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I did it once, and I post-traumatic stress, I think.
Yeah.
It was.
You get flashbacks.
It was horrible. Yeah. Never again. Yep, toilets.
Yeah.
Somebody else can do it. It's not hard, in particular. It's just really gross.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I'm glad I did not witness it.
Well, I didn't manage to do a whole lot. Actually, what I managed to do, Dawn, was I finished my sister's the Wolf Slayer,
Mm-hmm.
and then I took a look at it and I went, that can't be right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and I went back and I looked at the pictures on Ravelry, and then I looked, and what I had done was I had taken a stitch pattern that was the wrong stitch pattern, and did that for a set of 4 rows, or set of 3 rows, and then there was a break, and then another set of 3 rows. So I did the wrong stitch pattern in those 2 places instead of doing the puff pattern.
Oh.
So I just said, you know what?
So it's gonna be.
So no.
You ripped it out.
Yep, I ripped it out because it's crochet, and I can do that, and it's easy yarn.
Yeah.
So there's nothing spectacular to show yet. But I did.
And what's the baby news on your sister?
There is no baby yet. I mean, there's a baby, but it's not out yet. But I think she's due. I think she's technically due on my birthday. I think she's due Thursday. And
cool.
My older son was born on her birthday, so I feel it is right for her to return the favor and get this one out on my birthday. Although since she's a VBAC, they may induce her without choice. I'm not sure how they're going to play this one. So,
which for those listening along, I don't know if you caught that. Heather's birthday is Thursday. Cinco de Mayo is Heather's birthday. Just, in case anybody wants to know that.
We are no longer counting Heather's birthday date. Oh my God, I still have a needle. It's a DPN in my hair. I did that so I'd remember to bring it upstairs.
Oh my! I was gonna say, hopefully it's from today.
No, I didn't sleep on that one.
Hopefully it's from today.
No, we're not counting anymore. I am going to celebrate Cinco de Tequila.
All right.
Annually. And then this weekend, I think for Mother's Day, Andrew's taking me to we have a flower preserve, a natural center place over on the Delaware River. And I'm just going to take my watercolors and sit and paint and
nice.
hikey, and I'll be all nice. But I got to see listeners this week. I got to see Deb and her husband Bob. They came, and they happened to be nearby, so we met up at the old historic colonial place, and Deb brought me this.
Ooh, nice.
I love it. And
that's perfect.
It is.
I'm sorry about the phone, by the way. It's way over there.
The quote is from Jane Austen. I actually am mentioning this on the podcast this week. She taught me to knit, which has been a great amusement, and it's from Chapter 17 of Persuasion.
Nice.
Yay, Jane. Yay, knitting.
So, Heather, is the tequila gluten-free?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Okay, just making sure. We didn't want you to get,
ill.
Gluten sick from.
No, I'll get different kind of ill. I'll get tequila ill.
I think most tequila is gluten-free, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think there's.
I figured it was. I was just messing around.
Although there is, people get.
Well, I would bet like really cheap booze. A lot of times they make it out of whatever.
Whatever they can get.
Yeah.
I know that there is potato vodka, Polish potato vodka that has no grain at all, and I do have a small reaction to rye and whiskey, but I don't care. There are certain places where I don't care. Do we have a comment or a question, Erica?
Oh no, that was just me moving my headphones because they hurt.
I did get the wasp, and I did get the jumping spider.
Yay, the jumping spider! Yay, the evil jumping spider.
Yeah, Don, you missed all the excitement. I could barely watch the screen because there was a wasp that kept going behind me, and there was a jumping spider that had climbed in through the window that was in front of me. And it took several days to get the jumping spider, but I got the wasp before the boys came home.
Good. Wasps are nasty.
Because I am tough like a bull.
Yeah. Strong like a bull.
That's right. That's right. So I don't have anything fun to show anybody, but I will next week, I think. Yay.
After you're done making all those puffs. Ooh, and next week I don't think I've shown you that yet. Did I show you the puff blanket?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'll bring that next week. And then we can have puff along.
Yay! Puff alongness. That sounds good. Fantastic. Anything else, Erica?
For anybody who didn't see on Facebook, the update to the surgery thing is no surgery.
That's right.
Just meds, which I'm pretty skeptical that meds are going to do anything, but when the expert in the field says, no, things are where they're supposed to be, you just need meds, you go with it. So my summer is more open than I expected. I'm not going to be spending 6 to 8 weeks recovering from full-on open belly surgery.
Nice.
So, yay.
I'm very glad.
Abdominal surgery.
So my oldest was disappointed because she was really looking forward to being my nurse.
She got to be in charge for a while.
Yeah. She would have liked that job for 5 minutes and then been like, done.
Mm-hmm.
No, she's actually really good at stuff like that. She's very nurturing.
Good.
So who knows? Maybe in her future she's going to be a caregiver or something.
Maybe she can take a cadaver class and tell you all about it.
Yeah, something.
Oops, that's a bead.
Bead.
Playing with the bead.
Cool.
We all know these sounds.
Yes.
Playing with the bead.
It's like dog, squirrel. Squirrel.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for coming by and for typing into the window. I've been giggling over here reading the chat, and I'm going to... Yes, it was Chapter 17 of Persuasion. And I think that's it. Thank you.
We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good.
Yes.
I hope we have some baby news. But
Yes.
They'll come when they come.
Yes.
they have a habit of doing that.
Yeah. I know. They can't read the book that says when they're due, right? So they don't know.
No, we don't have access. We get a 404 on that one. Nope. Sorry.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
No, yeah.
Well, thanks so
All
much,
right.
everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.